Hi everyone, this is week 4, Society and the Individual, and this week we're going to be talking about social inequality. So to get started, let's review the assignments for week 4. You'll want to read chapter 3 in the New World Reader. Also check out the TED Talks video in Moodle. There's also a website that I ask that you go and kind of just explore and click around. That's understandingprejudice.org. This week, you will need to complete 2 glossary entries. They will be due Sunday by midnight. And I just want to remind you all that any glossary items that you did or somebody else did cannot be done in week 4. So make sure your glossary entry is new and original. There is a quiz that will be due Sunday at midnight. Just know that it does cut off at midnight, so there won't be any late entries for the quiz. The forum, as usual, you have until Thursday at midnight to get your initial response done, and then you have to respond to your peers by Sunday at midnight. This week, the major paper is called the Opposing Viewpoint Paper. Throughout sociology, we use critical thinking skills, and this paper, I'm going to ask that you do use your critical thinking skills. So I want you to go to procon.org, and you're going to see a host of social issues. I want you to pick a social issue that you have a strong feeling about. And what I'm going to ask you to do, that you read both the opposing side and the pro side of the social issue. Then in Moodle and in your syllabus, there are questions that I want you to respond to. So I do expect that you will have 2 to 3 written pages. In this paper, you're able to use first person point of view, so you can use I, but I do want it in a essay-like format. So an introduction, and then the main body and a conclusion paragraph. Since you are looking at a website, then I expect at least 1 in-text citation. And since you have an in-text citation, then you know that you always have a works cited page. So if you have 1 source, it's work. If you have multiple sources, it's called works cited. So again, that will be due Sunday at midnight. And of course, if you have any questions about any of that, please let me know. Okay, so this social inequality is something that I know everybody has an understanding about or has heard this concept before. So in sociology, we know that people fall into classes based on factors like wealth, income, education, and occupation. And in America, we have a class system. In some other places, they might have a caste, C-A-S-T system, but we have a class system. And our class system is honestly open and fluid, and that achievement can play a role in moving up in the social position, just like natural disasters could make somebody move down lower in the social position. In America, we tend to see our classes as upper, middle, and lower classes, and then there's also some sections in, there might be a high middle class or a low middle class, and then there's lower class, and then there's even poverty. But generally, we kind of see those 3 classes. A lot of research and a lot of articles and findings have really gone into understanding the norms and the values and the culture of these classes. There's lots of interesting things that can be generalized. And then, of course, there's been research to back it up, that there are certain norms and values of each one of these classes. And so social inequality, if we want to make sure we define it, is just unequal distribution of resources. And resources could be money, ownership, and assets. Power is really, that there's somebody in charge and they have the ability to make decisions. Authority is the ability to control or influence, and a status, of course, is respect and prestige. So when we think of social inequality, it encompasses all those 4 bullets there: resources, power, authority, and status. And basically what happens is that there's repercussions and there are consequences of, one side having that unequal distribution. And so in social inequality, of course, the majority group tends to have all the power and the resources, and the minority group will find that it's strained. And so what happens is that there is inequality in terms of conditions, education, and housing, or there's, an off balance of opportunities like life chances. And so as a result, social problems intensify for the minority group, and you will see them in social issues like hunger, homelessness, fair wages, and even to health. There's a lot of research and findings about how social inequality affects people's health. And so this is, in sociology, we see all of this going back to social inequality. We're not going to talk about it too much, but social stratification is, the rigid kind of levels between a class. And what happens is that the social distance increases between races and genders and ethnicity. And so, as we've kind of discussed before, likes like, or people are attracted to things that look and act like them. And so when there's social stratification, we're just widening that gap. We're widening the gap, and we're making it kind of building walls around each other in terms of our race, gender, and ethnicity. And so one thing I'm going to kind of leave you all in is to think about, as the majority group, especially in American society, there are kind of some societal privileges that we experience in contrast to the minority group. There's a lot of research out there about something called white privilege. There's a great article by Peggy McIntosh called "Unpacking the White Knapsack," and it talks about she is considered herself white, and as she goes throughout her day, she realizes that she has really small privileges and that have been kind of unconsciously realized. And so I just ask you all to continue to think about that. And also, one other note I wanted to leave you on is that we talked about American society in this quick little PowerPoint, but social inequality can be found in all societies, whether it's egalitarian or even in, third world countries. And so this is a social phenomenon that really is is universally culture in every culture. So, okay, so that we're going to wrap it up for this week 4. I will see everybody next week for our final lecture, and just let me know if you need anything throughout the week. Thanks.